Of course there are lucky moments in NASCAR, but only the most lucky ones will make it into this video. 100% luck, or I simply don't show it, no exceptions. These are the absolute luckiest moments in the whole sport. First off, we have a fan favorite in Dale Jr. getting a win at Phoenix in 2015. Dale came in for a pit stop and his crew was changing the left side tires when the caution came out. Dale had to jump across the start-finish line to lock in his current position. He was able to do so pretty quickly because his pit stall was only about 50 feet away from the line. And as you might imagine, this helped him cycle to the front of the field. If you're confused this far, I don't blame you. Steve Letarte has explained this a lot better than I really can, so here is the recap.
While they're finishing their pit stall, you see in the distance the caution lights are flashing. They're pitting behind the start-finish line. Right there, they are now scored to that position relative to the leader. Remember, when the caution comes out, the leader slows down. They go back on the racetrack, people decide to pit, and the 88 has already committed their service. They're now the leader of the race. And it all comes down to where they were pitting on pit road.
Basically, the combination of when the caution came out and Dale's pit stall location put him out in the front. Right before the race restarted, it suddenly started raining. This caused a red flag and eventually ended the race on lap 219. The amount of different things that had to go exactly right for Dale Jr. to win this race is kind of mind-blowing. I know Dale Jr.'s fan base really didn't care how lucky he might have been, because at least he was able to get the win. The saddest part of this race was seeing Carl Edwards' live reaction to missing the championship 4 though.
Send it up to you, Rick, because it sounds like you know more than we do.
And a disappointed Carl Edwards. You saw the reaction there. NASCAR has called this race official.
What I think is one of the luckiest moments in this video is Austin Dillon's wreck avoidance in the 2022 Coke 0400. Even though it's pretty recent, I just had to include this one because with the amount of cars that spun out of control in front of him, I can't believe his car didn't react to the rain in the same way. Even on Dillon's transition to the apron, he looked like he was in full control of his car, and the seas parted in front of him to give him an open lane to get out undamaged, unlike Kevin Harvick. Some may argue that this took a lot of skill, and I can absolutely agree to an extent, but what matters most is that Austin secured the win after hours of the race being red flagged.
The 99 just loses it. Denny Rex.
Well, the 31 just lost it too by himself in that top lane.
I wonder if it was rain.
Well, yeah, I mean, both leaders are in clean air and they both catch their car. That tells me that there's something down there that's reducing grip.
I have a fun NASCAR fact for you. A race-used Goodyear tire can cost up to $500, but one fan went to a race and got one completely for free. We focused on NASCAR drivers getting lucky throughout the majority of this video, but when Brian Vickers crashed at Charlotte in 2008, one of his wheels came off of his car and bounced around the track until finally landing next to someone's camper in the infield. I really hope that NASCAR didn't confiscate this souvenir like the NFL likes to do with their footballs.
The wheel is gone.
Well, the only way we're going to find out, we're going to have to go over to the infield and dig it out of that camper tent that it went over into.
Since we're already on the topic of tires, one of the most lucky ways to win a NASCAR race is when the leader blows their tire in the final corner of the final lap. Alex Bowman got his third win of 2021 this way, and it would not have been crazy to think of him as the championship favorite just halfway through the season. Not many drivers get to say they've won a NASCAR Cup race on pure luck.
Only 8 before him have ever won 4.
Oh, he's got a flat tire. The left front tire's flat.
It's down. He's going to go into the wall. Kyle Larson in the wall. The 48 of Bowman's going to get by him.
Even though Kyle Larson got unlucky with that blown tire, he did get lucky at Phoenix later in the year. A whole entire championship was at stake, and on lap 283, David Starr's brake rotor exploded, and this left debris near the racing groove in turn 3. Before the caution came out, Larson was running last out of the championship contenders, and he was 4 seconds off the lead. Listen to this quote on the race broadcast because as soon as this was said, the caution would come out only 1 lap later.
Unless they get a caution, I'm not sure there's a path that Kyle Larson can get up there and pass those Gibbs cars.
And a caution does come out. That means a restart. And Steve, you come back to pit road and get fresh tires.
Kyle Larson entered the pits in 4th, but came out first due to the advantage of having the #1 pit stall. And it's pretty obvious what happened from this point, but without the yellow flag, I'd feel confident in saying that Martin Truex Jr. or even Denny Hamlin would have been the 2021 champion. Man, I really wonder if there's ever been another time that a Joe Gibbs racing driver lost a championship to Hendrick because of a caution. Fuel strategy races can turn into something completely luck-based when you're sitting in second place, hoping that the leader will run out of fuel. It doesn't happen too often, but there was a time in 2014 that Dale Jr. was leading on the final lap, but he couldn't quite stretch his fuel far enough to win the race. Brad Keselowski was able to get by in turn 3, and he went on to win. The moment Dale Jr. ran out of gas on the backstretch looked oddly similar to the way he lost the Coca-Cola 600 in 2011. It's pretty interesting how NASCAR history tends to repeat itself.
But Keselowski closes.
Oh, he's out.
He's got the draft, and Junior is out of gas.
3/4 of a lap. You're out.
Oh.
It's back running, though. It's back running. It's probably not. It's going to keep surging on him.
Yeah.
What's the best fuel mileage race that you can remember? My personal favorite was when Matt Kenseth won at Pocono in 2015.
Oh, the 22
might be out of fuel.
Potentially out of fuel. You see him shaking as he goes down Long Pond straightaway. He's shaking it, trying to get gas. The guy behind him, Matt Kenseth, could steal it.
Sometimes NASCAR drivers flip, and avoiding a flying car can be near impossible at times. Bubba Wallace managed to avoid Joey Logano's car at Talladega with it just barely gliding over his roof. There ended up just being some very minor damage, but Bubba was able to continue racing like literally nothing ever happened.
This doesn't even seem real to me. This is like a video game.
Real to Bubba. Woo! Real close. Look out! Wow. This is an automobile coming at you. DoorDash is a sponsor, man. DoorDash me some new underwear. I got a mess.
Man, I'm dead.
It wasn't the best finish, but Bubba was able to bring the car home in 19th, and he ended up finishing all the laps too. That's pretty respectable in my opinion. When it comes to miraculously winning a race in the final corner, Kyle Busch has been the guy for years. One of the more iconic finishes that you might have seen is when Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano wrecked each other at Auto Club in 2013, and Kyle Busch was able to sneak by on the outside. Winning a race while being in third place on the final lap is incredibly lucky. But what's even more lucky is that this has happened to Kyle Busch more than just once. You may have forgotten that Busch won the 2021 Busch Clash when Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott made contact in the final chicane. If you didn't remember this, I really can't blame you because this race wasn't even for points.
He's there.
Brakes are Elliott inside in the chicane. Pounds Ryan Blaney. Here comes Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is going to steal the Busch Clash.
Oddly enough, not even that finish would be the end of Kyle Busch's luck. In 2022, Chase Briscoe sent it on the inside of Tyler Reddick and accidentally wiped out both of them. Based on where this is going, you might guess that Kyle Busch was the guy in third here, and you're completely right.
In for it. Down to the bottom, slides up into him. Who's going to save it? Neither one. They both spin out. Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is gonna win barely. Steals one.
I don't know how this has happened to Kyle Busch so many times, and if it has ever happened to anyone else, comment down below because I'm genuinely very curious. When Busch said this over the radio in early 2022,
the same guy that backs into every win that he ever gets backs into another win.
Many fans pointed out the 3 previously mentioned races, which is honestly more than hilarious to consider. Quickly tap the like button to see if we can get to 5,000 this video, and if you love NASCAR, you're already here so you might as well subscribe, and if you can't find another video to watch, YouTube really thinks you'll like this video, so make sure to go ahead and check it out.